I'm delighted to say that I am joined now by the Deputy President of South Africa, Kgalema Motlanthe. Thank you very much indeed for coming in to join us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I would like to begin by talking to you a little bit about the rand. It has strengthened hugely. How much does that concern you?
Well, we are concerned with the strength of the rand. In fact, the South African Reserve Bank keeps an eye on the strength of the rand and tries to moderate that because it undermines our competitiveness.
Indeed, it must be damaging your export industry at the moment.
Export industry, yes.
Now, the ANC is planning to discuss a proposal to impose a tax on portfolio inflows to help curb the rand's gains. Is that feasible?
No, that's really just ideas that are being thrown around by people. The ANC has what we call the Economic Transformation Subcommittee. That is where the debates take place, and once they emerge with a report raising all the issues that needs to be considered for policy adoption, that report will then go back to the broader movement for further debate and so on. So that's not going to happen in the near future.
Okay, and will anything else happen? I mean, is there any, you see what the Bank of Japan did, is there any thought of intervention?
Well, the South African Reserve Bank, as I said, is the correct institution that actually looks at these issues with the right mandate to act and take decisions accordingly.
Okay. Now, the ANC Youth League and labour unions are lobbying for more state control, including the nationalisation of the country's mines. I know it's an issue that's been around for a while. Is it possible that the mines could become nationalised?
Well, this is a debate that is being spearheaded by the ANC Youth League. And once again, it's a debate that has to go through the Economic Transformation Subcommittee of the ANC. And if I haven't seen that even for the consideration of the National General Council that's commencing on Monday, it's not part of the that conference discussion papers.
So is it possible that it could eventually be adopted by the government?
Well, like all debates, you know, in a democracy, people are free to air their views in this way and that way. But for government, the critical question is always, what are the practical implications of any final position that is adopted? Because others don't concern themselves with that question. It's really theoretical and so on.
The only issue with the debate is that it may be creating more harm than good, because it does lead to a lot of uncertainty for potential investors and current investors.
Well, the current investors, particularly in the mining industry, are long-term investors, are people who take a long-term view. And therefore, these are not people who are panicked or unnerved by a debate and so on. They've come to understand that you know, the government takes a long-term view as well. And we appreciate that these are very important partners of the South African government and South African people.
So you wouldn't call on the Youth League and ask them not to keep raising this issue because it is unsettling? No,
not at all. Because, you know, as I said, we're a vibrant democracy, and people are wont to, you know, raise all kinds of views and believe that those can solve the stubborn problems of unemployment, stubborn problems of poverty, and so on.
Now, what about this idea of implementing a tax on portfolio inflows? Is that something that you're also thinking of adopting?
Once again, no. That's one view, and the Economic Transformation Committee hasn't even debated that issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the coalition, the ANC and COSATU are considered to be very often at each other's throats and don't get on particularly well. Are you convinced that that is a worthy coalition and that it works well?
It's very similar to what the Labour Party and the unions in the UK used to have, in the sense that the members of COSATU are trade unions affiliated to COSATU. COSATU is a federation. It's like a TUC. And the individual unions, as well as the individual workers, join the ANC in their own right, where they reside, not in the work milieu. So there's no instance where you have COSATU members who are not ANC members.
Now, you did actually serve as president for a few months prior to Jacob Zuma taking office. Would you make yourself available for that position again in the future?
Well, I've been there, and I think I can add value by advising those who take that office. I don't think I would want to go back to that office.
And if you were asked by the ANC to make yourself available for that?
I'm sure I can persuade them to find someone more talented than I am to take that responsibility.
You're very modest, Mr. Motlanthe. Thank you very much indeed for coming in to join us today.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.